see BBC One.
Michelle has faxed to say, I think Blue Peter's the best programme ever in the world, and I love
the right to prescribe more medicines to patients. That's good for the patient, it's good for the doctor because it relieves some burdens on them, and most of all, it gets the really best out of our nurses.
And just very briefly, Mr Milburn, reports this morning that the National Audit Office says that health trusts are going to have to pay out £4.4 billion in medical negligence claims. That's going to eat into your budget, isn't it, before you've even started?
Well, it's not quite true that they're going to have to pay it out, and I think the National Audit Office says that these claims against the NHS for when things are going to go wrong, around 3/4 of those claims will never actually be settled, will never go to court. What we have got to do is get a better grip on all of this. It's a problem that's affecting the world over, every healthcare system. People tend to go to court more often nowadays. That's just a sad fact of life. What we've got to do is make sure that there's a fair system. It isn't fair at the moment, it's costly, it takes far too long to settle, and actually a lot of these smaller claims, the National Health Service ends up paying out more in lawyers' fees than we do in compensation to patients. That can't be right. So I've asked the Chief Medical Officer, Sir Liam Donaldson, now to bring forward some new proposals so that we can get a fairer system in for settling these claims.
Alan Milburn, thank you very much. The UN has agreed to an Israeli request to delay its fact-finding visit to the Jenin refugee camp. Israel wants the mission put on hold because the team doesn't include military and counter-terrorism experts. The UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan said the team might be expanded as deemed necessary, but he expected only a short delay. The British government is backing the United Nations stance.
Israel prides itself on being a democracy, on having respect for the rule of law, and any country in that situation which is signed up to all its international obligations would have a duty to take action and prosecute anyone who had been found guilty of any crimes.
The IRA has formed part of a global terror network based in Colombia, according to a report by the US Congress. 3 Irish nationals were arrested in the South American country last August on suspicion of training Marxist rebels. The Congress claims their actions threatened both Colombian democracy and US national interests. It says Colombia is a terrorist breeding ground equal to Afghanistan. 12 British plane spotters go on trial in Greece today, accused of spying. The 11 men and 1 woman face up to 5 years in jail or a hefty fine if convicted. The group, who were held in prison for almost 6 weeks following their arrest last year, say they're confident of proving their innocence. Injured England football captain David Beckham has escaped unharmed from a car crash. Beckham, whose leg is in plaster after breaking his foot, was at the wheel of his Mercedes when it collided with another car near his home in Hertfordshire. The other driver, an off-duty police officer, was also unhurt. Safety experts say that Beckham was unwise to drive, although it's not unlawful because the car is automatic. And finally, keeping pigs may not seem that unusual, but neighbours of the Park family in Gisborne in Australia think things may have gone a little too far. These little piggies stay at home. Right at home. Lucy, Oliver and Lily have become fully fledged members of the family. They watch television with the family and they even have their own room. Although I wonder if they ever get told to tidy their room. It looks like a pigsty. Possibly not. 8 minutes past
show, and you're a digital satellite viewer. You can play more Brain Teaser puzzles and win cash right now on Brain Teaser TV. That's channel 279, so check that out as well. And it starts straight after this show goes off air. Now, we start with 4 contestants, and we're down to 1. That one is Tracy Webster. Well done, Tracy.
Thank
Top
you.
job. Top job. Okay, now back to